it's a little disturbing, the things you've said here tonight, and I just want to make sure we were clear on it.
What do
Let's
I find
talk to
disturbing?
Barry, listening in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, to WNMT. Barry, you're on Free Talk Live with Mark. He's really sick.
Yeah. Hey guys. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what can
I'm
I
sorry
do?
for Mark. I'd just like to apologize.
What can I do but to come in here and maybe disagree with Mark, because obviously I feel it'd be my duty to. Maybe I'm an idealist, but I think you can have soldiers who don't cross a certain line, and I think who do we want to do these things? We want, first of all, people who will take an oath, to the Constitution and to just the basic understanding of the rules and laws of war. There are such a thing. There used to be. And there used to be honor in that.
Whoa. You don't think the guys in World War I and World War II participated in activities like this and it just wasn't caught on camcorder?
I'm not speaking of that.
I'm not speaking of that.
I guarantee that what you're speaking of, things like that happen.
Hang on, Barry. We'll bring you back here in a moment. Stick with us. More with Barry. Free Talk. Let's go to you and your thoughts. Barry is still waiting back on WNMT up in northern Minnesota, listening in Grand Rapids. Barry, you're back on Free Talk Live. Want to make sure you had time to get your thoughts out, so go ahead.
Yeah, so when I say that there used to be honor in these things, obviously I mean for some.
Yeah, I would say that there's some.
Yeah, and idealism aside, though, even if you can't hold everybody to the standard, you must aspire to that standard, and you must aspire to teach that standard, or you will face absolute ruin, which is where we're going now, when we have these things not only being done, but codified. The NDAA is making, bad things just on paper okay. And we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard, and it's up to the warriors to do that, It's up to them to understand what's humane and what's not, what's war and what actually crosses that line. And when you say things happen in World War II, yes, and I don't condone that, and I don't condone anything like in the Civil War. The North, on record, burnt down towns and raped and pillaged and
Vietnam.
Obviously, there's no excuses. Like in Vietnam, there's no excuses that can be made for any of that. But part of that is not holding them to that standard, or someone letting that standard go.
To me, war is these things happening in war are unsurprising and unmoving. If the war, but I think that wars have been the United States has participated in far too many of them. If they were this incredibly rare occurrence that was started over some sort of terrible, egregious act, then I would be much less likely to have a problem with these things. I have a problem with what occurred in Afghanistan because I don't think that those troops belong in Afghanistan in the first place, and this is what creates the ill will in these places. However, I don't have this belief that a 19-year-old kid that you put an automatic weapon in their hand is going to necessarily conduct themselves to the level of dispassionate professional killer that we might very well want them to aspire to.
I think that's probably a realistic thing to say, Mark, because young people are less mature than their older counterparts.
That's why I say I don't care. And by the way, young people are far better soldiers than old people because they can hoof the stuff on their back. They can carry those things. They can do all the things that it takes.
That you shouldn't care.
Well, it's also the dehumanizing factor of being in the military and how they make you view your enemies so that you don't have a problem killing them, obviously. But unfortunately, with the way the military and the state is these days, who knows where the military is going to be pointed at next? And domestically, it doesn't even seem unlikely that it could occur there. So, do you really want that sort of weapon used against domestic targets? No, of course, no one wants that.
Barry, any other thoughts you want to share?
Well, there's just a danger of it not moving you anymore. Even with all the bad that's happened, layer upon layer of trouble we're in, you can't just. It moves me. I'll just put it that way.
Which one is it? What is it?
You're just saying there. You're just saying that these atrocities in war and these things that happen, they don't necessarily move you anymore.
Well, they would move me. They move me because I believe the wars to be unjust. I haven't been able to.
The individual acts themselves, though, in themselves, when I hear about them, they do move me.
They move me too. Because
I just wanted to make that clear. Hopefully we don't get that numb. That just because the war is wrong, we don't forget that there are other things being done very wrong inside of it. Of course, you understand that.
Thank you, Barry. I certainly do. I appreciate hearing from you tonight.